Let's find out what's going on in the market. Here are 4 things going on right now that I'm going to talk about. I'm Glenn McCormick with the Justin Haver Real Estate Team. Last month in January, we had a total of 1,234 sales, which was down from the previous year, about 15%, and it was down from 2024 as well, which was, I guess, probably something around 25% down from that. But you know what? That's actually more sales than we had in 2023. So if we go back 3 years, we actually had a few more sales than in that year. And I've been trying to find this correlation between inventory and demand. And I think the rule is sometimes there is and sometimes there isn't a correlation. So for example, in 2023, when there was only 1,198 sales that January, there was 2,451 homes on the market for sale, like available. You take what we have today, we got 4,391. There's a lot of homes available. And yeah, so I mean, buyers still have a lot to choose from. The last time we had that kind of inventory in the month of January was actually in 2021. There was, let's see, 1,207 sales. So we actually did better than in 2021 as well. Let's talk about how we're doing so far in February. In February, so I talked about January being down in sales year over year. It was 15%. For February so far, we've completed 2 weeks in February here. We're only down 9% versus a year ago. So that's overall improving. Detached homes, let's look at that. In January, we were only 2% down from the year before. For some reason, we're lagging a bit behind now in February. There's 8% less sales so far in February of a detached home versus last year. Row homes, townhomes, they've been taking a beating for a while. They were down minus 25% year over year in January. So far in February, only down 4%. Is that crazy or what? There seems to be a little bit of demand picking up for row homes. Okay, semis, which means half duplex, that sort of property, they were down minus 26% in January. So far this month in February, can you believe we're actually up 22% year over year? That's really popular this month. There also happens to be less new listings in that category. Both detached and row homes have more new listings in the first 2 weeks of February versus last year. And then same thing with apartments. There's actually less new listings hitting the market so far these first 2 weeks of February. We're down 22% year over year, first 2 weeks of February, but January we're down 26%. So marginal improvement there. The last thing I'm going to talk about today is the number of showings. So I'm tracking how many showings is our market actually getting. And let's go week to week for the year so far. I'll round the numbers where possible here. So first full week of January, I'm talking January 4th to 10th, there was about 7,500 showings that occurred in Calgary. The following week, 11th to the 17th, 9,000 showings. The following week, mid-January, 9,800 showings. Last week in January, there was a bit of a slowdown, 9,200 showings. But look at this. Now we're into February, right? Is the spring market waking up? I think it might be. We've had, in the first week of February, there was 10,039 showings to be specific. Last week, February 8th to 14th, 10,036, pretty much even, Steven. So I think this market is starting to finally wake up a little bit. I'm so curious to see how we do in February. By the end of February, if we are still ahead year over year in some of the categories, that'll be very interesting to see. All right. Anyways, that's it for now. We'll talk to you next time.